Hi everyone, welcome back to Muted Screams. And first of all, I'm really sorry for the delay in releasing this episode. Life has been a little heavier lately, and I didn't want to rush something this personal. I want to be honest with you, Yamaguchi's point of view in this story is very close to how I feel about life sometimes. That overwhelmed feeling, the pressure, the exhaustion, the silence you keep inside, that's me. And writing this series has been a way to process some things that are happening in my personal life. Real things, difficult things, so difficult actually. So thank you for your patience and for staying with me even when I need a little time to breathe. This episode picks up right after everything we've already built, and we're slowly moving towards the emotional core of this story. The next episode will be probably the last one, or maybe the second to last, depending on how much I'll need to tell the rest of it, honestly. But for now, let's get into episode 2 of Muted Screams. Bye-bye, enjoy the show.
He didn't mean to yell. He doesn't even know why he's been so damn irritable lately. It's just Yamaguchi being Yamaguchi. That's what he tells himself. But something's been off these past few days, quieter, heavier. And still, he snapped. Now the gym feels too loud. Everyone's pretending to keep practicing, but the air's wrong. Suga's gone, ran out the moment he saw Yamaguchi collapse. No one said a word after that. Daichi's phone buzzes. He reads something quickly, his face tightening. Then his eyes find TsukkiYama. "You're done for today," Daichi says, firm but gentle. TsukkiYama opens his mouth to argue, but the look Daichi gives him, tired, understanding, kills any resistance. He just nods. He doesn't remember leaving the gym, just ends up outside the school gates, backpack hanging from one shoulder. The sky's turning orange. He doesn't even know what he's waiting for. Maybe for Sugar to text. Maybe for Yamaguchi to show up. Maybe for the guilt to fade. But it doesn't. He leans against the fence, watching students trickle out. No sign of him. And for the first time in a long while, TsukkiYama doesn't know what to do. He doesn't even realize he's holding his phone until he sees the home screen light up against his palm. His thumb moves before his brain catches up. Instinct, maybe. Or just the need to hear something that isn't his own thoughts. He scrolls through his chats, past the usual teen groups, until he sees one he hasn't opened in months. The icons buried under the archived tab, like something long forgotten. Volley dorks. Unread messages. 999 plus. Figures. He hesitates, thumb hovering over it. They never shut up. Bakuto probably still spams voice notes about his new workout plan. Kyoru picks fights with literally anyone who'll reply. And Akashi, well, Akashi holds the whole circus together. TsukkiYama opens it anyway. The last thing he sees before typing is Bakuto screaming about losing his water bottle in all caps. For some reason, that stupid energy feels comforting. He types before he can stop himself. Hey, a single word, dropped into chaos. And in seconds, Tsuki, the fossil has spoken. Call the press. Good evening, TsukkiYama. It's been a while. He stares at the screen, blinking. Part of him wants to throw the phone away. But something about it, how normal they sound, keeps him there. Alright, Blondie, you only text when the world's ending. What's up? Is it about Yams? I miss him too. How do you even know that's who I'm going to talk about? Educated guess you only get that tone when it's about him. Tone, I only said hey. Exactly. TsukkiYama's jaw tightens. He hates that they can read him so easily, but he also, kind of doesn't. He types slower this time. I yelled at him today in front of everyone. No. Smooth move, tower boy. What happened? TsukkiYama exhales, leaning against the fence by the school gate. The sky's turning deep orange. The world looks quiet, too quiet. He wasn't focused. I snapped. I don't even know why. You ever think maybe you do know why? Don't start with your psychology crap, Kyoru. Maybe you're just worried about him, like, deep down. Bakuto-san, please. TsukkiYama, has he talked to you since? He stares at the message. The typing dots flicker and disappear. He finally writes. No, Suga took him outside. Daichi told me to go home. Wait, Suga ran after him? Yeah, panic attack, I think. Silence. Even Bakuto doesn't reply for a moment. Then, quietly, shit, that's serious. Is he okay? Tsukishima doesn't answer right away. His throat feels tight. I don't know, I'm still here waiting. You mean at school? Yeah, he'll have to come back eventually. Sitting outside in the dark doesn't sound like you, man. Yeah, I know. He watches the streetlights flicker on one by one. The cold's starting to bite through his jacket. He hears the sound of students laughing in the distance, fading out as they walk home. Hey, remember when you used to ignore me for like 3 days straight and I still made you laugh? Unfortunately, then let me say this, if he means something to you, don't waste time pretending he doesn't trust me, that stuff eats you alive. Surprisingly good advice, Bakuto-san. The owl's learning, proud of him. Face with steam from nose. Tsukishima stares at the chat for a long moment. He's not used to people telling him things like that, at least not seriously. Look, you don't have to fix it tonight, but when you see him, don't make excuses, just tell him the truth. And what's that supposed to be? Whatever's actually sitting in your chest right now, stop trying to bury it under sarcasm. Tsukishima locks his phone. For a second, the reflection on the screen shows him looking smaller than he feels comfortable admitting. Then he unlocks it again. He scrolls back up through the chaos of their chat, thumb resting on the screen. For a second, he debates whether to say more. But what's the point of reaching out if he's just going to half explain everything again? He types slowly, deliberately. I'm supposed to have dinner with my brother tonight. At my house. Yamaguchi's coming too. The dots appear. He can feel the collective pause on the other side of the screen. Oof, so this isn't over yet. Wait, tonight? Like right now, kind of tonight. I take it this dinner wasn't cancelled? No, my brother doesn't know what happened and I can't just tell him not to come. Tsukishima leans his head back against the cold metal fence. He watches the last bit of sunlight sink behind the gym roof. The ache behind his eyes has been growing since practice ended. He types again, fingers a little slower this time. I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to him. Try sorry, works wonders. That's not enough. Maybe not, but it's a start. What matters is that you mean it. People can tell when you don't. Tsukishima exhales through his nose. He imagines sitting at the table later, the smell of food, Akitaru asking about school, Yamaguchi sitting across from him, pretending like nothing's wrong. He can already see himself staring at his plate, every word lodged in his throat. It's just weird. I keep thinking about how he looked when I yelled. Like you broke something you can't fix? Yeah, but maybe it's not broken forever. Maybe it's just, cracked. That's not entirely wrong. He almost smiles at that, just barely. You're nervous, huh? I don't get nervous. Sure, big guy, you're just sitting outside your school in the dark, talking to 3 idiots on your phone because you're so calm. Bakuto laughs. He does have a point. Tsukishima sighs and pushes his glasses up the bridge of his nose. I hate that you're right. That's why you love me, don't push it. For a while, they just keep texting, dumb jokes, light teasing. Nothing that fixes anything, but it fills the silence. And when Tsukishima finally looks up, the street's mostly empty. The gym lights are off. He slides his phone into his pocket. Dinner's in less than an hour. He should go home, but part of him wants to stay right here, where he doesn't have to face it yet. Hey, you got this, be nice, okay? Good luck, don't overthink every word. And remember, if it gets awkward, text us, I'll send Bakuto to barge in mid-meal. I would do that. Please don't. He can't help it, he actually laughs this time. Quiet, but real. Then he stands up, pulls his bag higher on his shoulder, and starts walking home. Yamaguchi Pov. His body's tired, but not in the good way. Not the I trained hard kind of tired. More like I'm holding myself together by threads. He checks his phone. A message from Suga. Text me when you get home, okay? He types okay, and stares at it for a while before hitting send. The smiley feels wrong. He sends it anyway. Outside, the sky's turning purple, the kind of color that makes everything look softer but sadder too. He adjusts his bag, starts walking. The road to the station splits, left for home, right for Tsukki's. He stops. He promised he'd go. Akitoru invited him days ago. Said it would be nice to have dinner together again, like old times. But old times feel like a lifetime ago. Before the yelling. Before the silence between them turned so heavy it hurt to breathe around it. He stares at the sidewalk for a long minute, trying to decide. He wants to see Tsuki. He wants to fix things. But, what if Tsuki doesn't want him there anymore? What if he regrets inviting him? His hands tremble just a little. He hates that. He scrolls through his messages, the one from Akitoru still there, cheerful as ever. See you at 7. Tadashi, you better be there or I'll come drag you myself lol. A small smile tugs at the corner of his mouth despite everything. Maybe, he'll go. Just to say he tried. Just to not run away again. He looks up at the fading light, takes a slow breath. Then he turns right. By the time he reaches the TsukkiYama's house, the sky's gone dark. He stands in front of the gate for a moment, fingers tightening around the strap of his bag. He can see the warm light coming from the dining room window. It feels too warm, like he doesn't belong in it anymore. He swallows hard and presses the doorbell. Footsteps. Then, Tadashi. Akitoru's voice, too bright, too easy. The door opens and he's smiling like always, hair still messy from work, apron half-tied. You're right on time. Come in, come in. Yamaguchi forces a smile, stepping inside. The smell of food fills the hallway, miso soup, grilled fish, rice. It's comforting. Familiar. Almost enough to make him forget why his heart's beating so fast. Then he sees him. Tsuki's sitting at the table, phone beside his plate, arms crossed. He looks up when Yamaguchi enters, just for a second. Their eyes meet. Neither of them says anything. Akitoru claps his hands together. All right. Let's eat before it gets cold. They sit. The sound of chopsticks. Plates being passed. Small talk, mostly Akitoru's, filling the space like he's scared silence might swallow them all. So, Tadashi, how's school? You and Kei still on the same team, right? Yeah, Yamaguchi answers softly. Still, together. Tsuki doesn't look up. Akitoru laughs a little too loudly. Good, good, I was worried you two might have had a fight or something. The words hang there. Tsuki finally speaks, voice calm but sharp. We didn't fight. I just. He stops. Then sets his chopsticks down. Said something stupid. Yamaguchi's throat tightens. He wasn't expecting that. He looks at Tsuki, really looks at him, tired eyes, guilt hiding behind the usual indifference. I said things I shouldn't have, Tsuki mutters. Akitoru's glance bounces between them, surprised but quietly relieved. Hey, that's good, right? You're talking. Yamaguchi grips his chopsticks so tight his fingers ache. He could just say it's fine. He should. But the words won't come out. So instead he says, barely audible. It hurt, you know. The air goes still. Tsuki looks at him like he just got punched. Akitoru quietly excuses himself to get more rice. Now it's just the two of them. The quiet is louder than any yelling. Tsuki sighs, low. I know. I didn't mean. I know you didn't. He cuts him off, voice trembling just enough to betray how much he's been holding in. But that doesn't make it hurt less. He stares down at his bowl. He doesn't know what he expected, an apology, a fight, something, anything. Instead, there's the sound of a chair moving. Tsuki stands up. For a second, Yamaguchi thinks he's leaving, but then he realizes Tsuki's standing right next to him. Then let me try to make it hurt less, Tsuki says quietly. And for the first time in days, Yamaguchi looks up. There's no sarcasm, no wall. Just honesty, awkward, raw, but real. He nods. That's enough for now. Akitoru returns to the table with the rice bowl, trying to lighten the air that feels too thick to breathe. All right, he says with a small smile, this is way too depressing for dinner. Eat, please, before I start crying just out of second-hand discomfort. Yamaguchi lets out the smallest breath of a laugh. Tsuki doesn't, but his shoulders drop a bit, tension loosening. They eat in silence for a moment. Not a bad silence. Just, careful. Akitoru watches them, then stretches his arms above his head. Man, I'm exhausted, he groans. I had an early shift today. I think I'm gonna tap out. He takes his empty bowl to the sink and waves a hand. You two can stay here as long as you want. Make yourselves comfortable. Just don't break anything, please. He sends Yamaguchi a quick reassuring smile and disappears down the hallway. A door clicks shut. hot. Now it's just them again. Yamaguchi pokes at the last bit of food in his bowl. Tsuki pushes his own away, untouched since the conversation got heavy. For a while, neither speaks. Then Tsuki shifts, clears his throat. Do you want to go somewhere else? He asks quietly, like the room. It's easier to talk there. Yamaguchi looks up, startled, but nods. Tsuki stands, waiting for him, and they walk slowly to his room. Door closes gently behind them. Tsuki sits on the edge of his bed. Yamaguchi stands for a second, unsure, until Tsuki gestures faintly. You can sit. Yamaguchi sits beside him, leaving just enough space to breathe, but not enough to feel distant. And they talk. Not all at once, not cleanly. Tsuki's words are clumsy, fragmented. Apologies that get stuck halfway out. Truths that scrape on the way up. I shouldn't have yelled. I shouldn't have made you feel like you were too much. Yamaguchi stares at his hands. I'm not mad you yelled, he murmurs. I'm just tired of feeling like I'm easy to push away. That hits Tsuki harder than yelling ever could. He exhales shakily. They talk for a long time, in low voices, soft pauses, breaths held and released. Eventually, Tsuki looks at him with a careful expression. Do you want to stay? He adds quickly, eyes flicking away. I mean, just to sleep. You look exhausted. You don't have to go home this late. Yamaguchi freezes. He wants to say no. He really does. But he's too tired to pretend. Okay. Tsuki nods once, relieved in a way he doesn't show. He grabs a spare futon and spreads it neatly on the floor. You take the bed, he says. It's not a question. Yamaguchi lies down, heart pounding too loud for how quiet the room is. Tsuki settles on the futon, back turned slightly, pretending to get comfortable. For a long time, they don't speak. Eventually, Tsuki's breathing evens out. Yamaguchi rolls onto his side, facing the wall, eyes open in the darkness. He's not sleeping, not even close.